doesn't just survive adversity, but uses it as fuel, uses it as leverage, uses it as a launching pad to reach heights they never imagined. Adversity also teaches you empathy. When you've been through the fire, you look at people differently. You stop judging. You start understanding. You stop assuming and start listening because you know what it feels like to struggle. You know what it's like to hurt, to fight, to cry yourself to sleep and still wake up with hope. And that makes you dangerous. Not just because you're strong, but because you're kind. Not just because you can overcome, but because you can lift others up while you do it. That's the kind of power the world needs. That's the kind of power adversity creates. Every time you get up after being knocked down, you're building something. You're building mindset. You're building a legacy. You're building a story that someone else will need one day, because your adversity isn't just about you. It's about the people who will come after you. It's about your kids, your community, the strangers who will hear your story and find hope in it. When you rise through adversity, you give other people permission to do the same. You light the path. You become the example. That's real leadership. That's real impact. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting for life to get easier. That's not where greatness lives. Greatness lives in the grit. It lives in the moments when everything is against you and you still bet on yourself. It lives in the it's what makes you put in the extra reps, the extra hours, the extra effort. Not because it's easy, but because you've trained your mind to value discipline over comfort. You've trained your mind to prioritize long-term growth over short-term gratification. And that kind of mindset, that's rare. That's the kind of mindset that creates legends, because most people only do what's required. But a strong mindset pushes you go beyond required. It makes you do what's necessary. It makes you do what's uncommon. It makes you do what most people aren't willing to do. And that's why you get results most people would never have. When your mindset is strong, you become your own motivation. You don't wait for inspiration to find you. You show up even when you're not inspired. You don't wait to feel ready. You act, and the feeling follows. That's a shift that changes everything. Most people let their emotions control their actions, but a powerful mindset flips that. It says, I act my way into feeling, not feel my way into feeling, not feel my way into acting. That's how you build momentum. That's how you create consistency. And over time, that consistency creates unstoppable confidence. Not the kind of confidence that's loud and boastful, the kind that's quiet, unshakable, and rooted in self-respect. A strong mindset makes you resilient. It makes you bounce back faster when life hits. It gives you perspective in the storm. It reminds you of your why when your how isn't working. It keeps you locked in, focused, grounded, and here's the truth. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It's built through struggle, through repetition, through failure, through wins, through pain, through persistence. And the raw material for that resilience is your mindset, that inner voice that says, get up. That voice that says, you're not done yet. That voice that says, you got more in you. You got to nurture that voice, protect that voice, feed that voice daily with affirmations, with gratitude, with intentional thoughts. Mindset is what makes the difference between being reactive and being proactive. The world will always throw stuff at you. Unexpected bills, betrayal, health issues, career setbacks. But your mindset decides whether you crumble or adapt, whether you react emotionally or respond with clarity, whether you waste energy complaining or redirect that energy into solving. Life isn't about what happens to you. It's about what you decide to do about it. And the stronger your mindset, the more strategic your decisions become, the more focused your actions become, the more effective your life becomes. And here's something most people don't talk about. Mindset also affects your relationships. The way you think about yourself shapes how you let others treat you. If you don't believe you're worthy, you'll tolerate things you don't deserve. If you see yourself as a victim, you'll attract people who keep you stuck. But when your mindset is strong, you set boundaries. You protect your energy. You surround yourself with people who challenge you, support you, push you, because you know your value. You've done the inner work, and your relationships improve not because other people change, but because you did. Mindset also determines your ability to delay gratification. People with weak mindsets need instant results. They can't handle waiting, discomfort, or uncertainty. But people with powerful mindsets are patient. They understand the long game. They understand that mastery, success, purpose, it all takes time. They're not distracted by the noise. They're not derailed by temporary failure. They trust the process because their mindset is anchored in vision, not emotion. They don't chase hype. They build habits. And over time, those habits stack into excellence. You've got to realize that mindset is a daily discipline. You don't just wake up one day with a powerful mind. You build it brick by brick, decision by decision. You build it by choosing gratitude over bitterness, by choosing belief over doubt, by choosing action over excuses. It's not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. And every time you choose the stronger thought, the higher perspective, the tougher path, you're reinforcing that mindset. You're building mental muscle. And just like the body, the more you train it, the more it grows. You can't afford to be careless with your thoughts. You can't afford to let self-doubt live unchecked in your mind. You got to take full ownership of what you allow yourself to think and believe. Because your beliefs become your behavior, and your behavior becomes your results. So if you want different results, you got to change the route. You've got to reprogram your mind. That means eliminating the lies. The lie that says you're not good enough. The lie that says you'll never make it. The lie that says your past defines your future. Those lies can't live in a mind that's destined for greatness. A growth mindset will take you further than raw talent ever could. Because talent without belief is wasted. Talent without discipline is useless. But belief backed by effort, mindset fueled by action, that's unstoppable. That's the recipe for elevation. That's the kind of mindset that doesn't just dream big, but builds big. Not just thinks about the future, but creates it. And the best part, you don't need anyone's permission to start thinking like that. You don't need approval to upgrade your mindset. It's your choice, your responsibility, your superpower. Most people are so focused on the destination that they completely overlook the value of the journey. But what if I told you that the transformation isn't in the goal? It's in the grind. It's in the grind. It's in the day-to-day discipline, the sleepless nights, the early mornings, the failures, the rejections, the doubts, the small wins, and the countless moments when nobody's watching. The journey molds you into the person you need to become to even carry the weight of your dream. It prepares you for the promise. Because if you get there too early, without the preparation, you'll sabotage it. You'll drop it. You won't be ready. That's why the process matters. That's why you got to learn how to value the grind. See, everybody wants success, but very few people are willing to go through what success demands. People want the spotlight, but they don't want to sweat in the dark. They want the platform, but they don't want the preparation. They want the recognition, but not the rejection. What separates the 1% isn't talent, it's endurance. It's how long they're willing to stay in the furnace while others look for the exit. It's how long they're willing to struggle, to sacrifice, to stay focused when there's no applause, no validation, no results yet. That's the secret, being able to stay committed to the process when the outcome isn't guaranteed. The journey is where you get tested. It's where your character is built. It's where your grit is forged. It's where your patience, resilience, and mindset are strengthened. The journey teaches you how to fail and still move forward. It teaches you how to lose and still believe. It teaches you how to walk through rejection and still hold your head high. And more importantly, the journey teaches you who you really are. Not who you say you are. Not who you pretend to be when everything's going good. Who you are when the pressure is on, when the doors don't open, when life hits hard and doesn't let up. That's when your real identity shows up. And most people avoid that version of themselves because it's uncomfortable, because it requires growth, because it means facing the truth. But the truth is what sets you free. And the only way to get to that truth is to embrace the process. Stop looking at the struggle like it's punishment. It's not punishment. It's preparation. It's not meant to break you. It's meant to shape you. You've got to shift your mindset from a why is this happening to me to a what is this trying to teach me? Because once you start seeing the lessons, once you start extracting the wisdom from your pain, the game changes. You stop resisting the process and start respecting it. And when you respect the process, you start to trust it, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it hurts, even when it's lonely. Think about it. The greatest champions, the icons, the people who changed history, They didn't become great because life handed it to them. They became great because they leaned into the process. They stayed the course when others quit. They kept moving when the journey got dark. They found meaning in the pain. And that's what made them different. That's what gave them the edge. You don't build a legacy on comfort. You don't make history by avoiding struggle. You become who you're meant to be by walking through the fire, not around it. Most people want shortcuts. They want the hack, the quick fix, the fast track. But shortcuts don't build strengths. Shortcuts don't develop discipline. Shortcuts rob you of the very lessons you need to sustain success when it finally arrives. Because success isn't about getting there. It's about staying there. And staying there takes more than skill. It takes character. It takes mental toughness. It takes emotional intelligence. And those things are only developed in the trenches, in the quiet grind, in the moments where you want to quit, but don't, in the moments where you fail, but show up anyway. That's where the power lives. That's where transformation happens. You got to fall in love with the process. Not just tolerate it, love the early mornings, love the late nights, love the setbacks, love the learning curve, love the repetition, love the practice, because that's where your craft is honed. That's where your discipline is refined. That's where your habits are formed. If you only love the outcome, you'll never laugh. You'll quit when it gets hard. But if you love the process, if you're obsessed with becoming better every single day, nothing can stop you, because you're not chasing a finish line. You're chasing growth. You're chasing growth. And growth doesn't have a deadline. It's a lifelong journey. The process also teaches you gratitude. When you fought for every inch, when you bled, cried, and clawed your way forward, you don't take success for granted. You don't disrespect the win. You appreciate every step, every breakthrough, every blessing. So, because you know what it cost you. You know what it took to get there. And that kind of gratitude, that keeps you grounded. That keeps you humble. That keeps you hungry, because you remember the journey. You remember who you had to become to get there. But if you skip the process, if you try to bypass the struggle, you rob yourself of that depth. You rob yourself of the transformation. And success without transformation is fragile, temporary, crumbles under pressure. But success built on a solid foundation, success that comes from the grind, from the lessons, from the brokenness and rebuilding, that kind of success is unshakable. That kind of success stands the test of time. You can't fake the process. You can't cheat growth. You can't microwave greatness. It takes time. It takes pressure. It takes repetition. It takes falling down and getting back up again and again. And the crazy part, nobody sees most of it. Nobody applauds the grind. Nobody claps for the late nights. But that's where greatness is built, in the silence, in the obscurity, in the invisible work. And when the moment comes, when the spotlight finally hits you, people will think it happened overnight. But you'll know it was years in the making. Built in the dark, forged in the struggle, perfected in the process. So don't rush it. Don't run from it. Don't curse the process. Embrace it. Respect it, master. Because the person you're becoming is more important than the thing you're chasing. And once you become the person who can handle it, success won't just find you. It will stay with you. Because now you've earned it. Now you're ready for it. Now you can carry it. Not because you skipped the journey, but because you lived it. Every step, every tear, every setback, every breakthrough, you lived it. And it changed you. It built you. It prepared you. You've got to understand something deep in your soul. You are not a victim. I know life hit you hard. I know things didn't go the way you planned. I know you've been betrayed, abandoned, doubted, maybe even broken. But let me tell you something. What happened to you does not define you. The pain was real, but it's not the end of your story. You might have been knocked down, but you are not out. You've got the power to choose how you respond. You've got the power to stand back up. You got the power to rewrite the narrative. It starts with one thing: owning your pain. Too many people walk around blaming everything and everyone for where they are. My father wasn't there, but my mother didn't love me right. My friends switched up. My boss never saw my potential. Life's not fair. And listen, maybe all of that is true. Maybe you were handed the short end of the stick. But staying in that mindset, staying in that place of blame, gives your power away. It says, I can't move unless someone else makes it right. And that is the fastest way to stay stuck. That is the fastest way to let your struggle become a prison instead of a platform. When you shift from a look, what they did to me, to look what I can do with it. With this, everything changes. You stop being a victim and start being a warrior. You've got to learn how to flip the pain. Take everything they say you couldn't do and turn it into fuel. Take the rejection, take the heartbreak, take the abandonment and use it. Use it to build discipline. Use it to build focus. Use it to build resilience. Let the pain sharpen your vision. Let it deepen your hunger. Let it set your soul on fire. The ones who go the furthest in life aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who knew how to convert pain into purpose. They took their lowest moments and made them the launch pad for their greatness. But that doesn't happen by accident. It takes a decision, a choice to stop hiding behind the pain and start fighting through it. Because let me tell you, your story isn't powerful because it's perfect. Because it's perfect. It's powerful because it's real. It's raw. It's flawed. But you kept going. You didn't let what broke you keep you broken. You didn't let what hurt you keep you hardened. You used it. And the moment you start using your pain instead of running from it, you become unstoppable. You got to stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? You got to stop replaying the loss and start rewriting the lesson. You've got to stop mourning the past and stop mourning the past and start moving with purpose. Because there's someone out there who needs your story. There's someone who's drowning in the same storm you survived. There's someone who needs to see that scars don't mean defeat. They mean you heal. They mean you heal. They mean you made it. They mean you got something to say, something to teach, something to give. But you can't give what you won't confront. You've got to face it. Look your pain in the eyes and say, you will not own me. You will not control me. I'm taking the wheel now. Stop burying the hurt. Stop pretending it didn't happen. Stop wearing masks to look strong while you're crumbling on the inside. Real strength is facing it. Real power is owning it. That's how you take your power back, by standing in your truth, no matter how messy, no matter how painful, and saying, just where I've been, but it's not where I'm staying, because here's the truth. Your pain holds your power. Your greatest strength is hiding inside your greatest wound, but you've got to dig it out. You've got to go into the broken places, the dark places, the places nobody sees, and clean house. Not to relive the pain, but to reclaim the power. To take what was meant to destroy you and use it to build a version of you that's untouchable. That's the move. That's the shift. Turning the wound into wisdom. Turning the hurt into hunger. Turning the loss into leadership. Everybody sees the success, the glow up, the wins, but they don't see the war you had to fight just to smile again. They don't see the nights you cried yourself to sleep. They don't see the silent battles, the internal wars, the moments you almost gave up. And that's okay. They don't have to see it, but you've got to remember it. You've got to carry it with you. Not as a burden, but as a badge. A reminder that's a badge. A reminder that you've already survived your worst days. A reminder that you're still standing. A reminder that you're built for this. Because the world's going to try to label you. They'll call you weak, broken, damaged. But they don't know the full story. They don't know what it took just for you to get out of bed some days. They don't know the courage it took to keep living when everything inside you wanted to quit. They don't know the strength it took to love again, trust again, dream again. So don't wait for their validation. Don't wait for them to clap. You validate you. You celebrate you. You walk in your truth with your head held high because you earned it. And you got to know your pain doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you. It's what makes you relatable. It's what gives you depth. It's what makes you human. People don't connect to perfection, they connect to truth. So stop hiding your story. Stop filtering your journey. Speak the real, live the real, and give others the permission to do the same. Because when you show up in your truth, you give others the courage to show up in theirs. So many people walk around broken and ashamed, thinking they're alone, thinking nobody would understand. But your story, your comeback can be the light in their darkness. Your healing can be the hope they've been searching for. But not if you stay silent. Not if you keep pretending. Not if you keep running from the very thing that could set you free. Own it. All of it. The mistakes, the missteps, the pain, the growth, the transformation. That's your power. That's your gift. That's your calling. And don't let anybody shoot different. Don't let the world make you feel like your pain disqualifies you from greatness. Because the opposite is true. Your pain is proof that you're ready, that you've lived, that you've overcome, that you got something inside you that the world needs, that you got a voice, a purpose, And it's time to stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. It's time to stop shrinking, to fit into places you've outgrown. It's time to rise, to lead, to impact. Not in spite of your pain, but because of it. Not because everything's perfect, but because you kept showing up anyway. Because you refused to be defined by your wounds. Because you decided that your story doesn't end in defeat. It starts with fire and ends with freedom. So now what are you going to do with that pain? Are you going to let it sit there and rot? Or are you going to pick it up and build something powerful with it? Are you going to keep carrying it like a burden? Or are you going to wear it like armor? Because the choice is yours. Your past doesn't get the final say. You do. Your struggle wasn't the end. It was the beginning. It was the beginning, and every step forward from here is proof that pain didn't break you. It's time to take that pain, stand tall, and turn it into power. The world is waiting for the version of you who refused to give up. Now go show them who that is.